Hello everyone, it is Sunday the 12th of August. I've just come back for a little break from SITC, which I'm loving, by the way. It is absolutely amazing. I've already seen so many YouTubers and I'm so happy with how this weekend's turned out. I'm currently back in my hotel, as you can probably see. I'm going to do a bit of a video that I kind of didn't expect to film today. But I went to a panel at SITC, I think it was at 2, I think it was. I went to the mental health panel at SITC, and it was with Luke Cuthford and Dodie and a couple of, and there was a person from Childline, I think it was Childline, I'm not sure, I think it was Childline. And it really gave me a bit of inspiration for a video, because a lot of what they said made a lot of sense. Like they said, with mental health you shouldn't have, like, hide it because of stigma, you know, you shouldn't hide it because you don't want to trouble people or anything like that. And I guess in a way that's what I've been doing. So I just want to talk a bit about my kind of mental health story and give you a bit of an indication of what it's like, because recently there has been evidence of it that's come about, but we'll go into that as the video goes along. So my mental health story starts when I was about 15. I was in school, didn't enjoy it at all, was really not doing well at all. I was smart. I don't want to say smart because that sounds like I'm being big-headed, but no, I was smart as in I knew what I was doing, I knew what was happening, but I wasn't happy, if you know what I mean. I wasn't putting my full effort. And so from the age of about 15, I didn't realise at the time, I was just going down. My mental health was slightly not right, not quite there, if that makes sense. I wasn't into everything, if you know what I mean. I just wasn't focused or anything like that. And yeah, so that went on for about 2 years or 2.5 until I was about 18. And then when I was 18 I started getting even more reasons, I know, not usual reasons to be like depressed. It kept creeping in. Like sometimes I just didn't want to get out of bed, sometimes I'd sleep for 18 hours a day because I just didn't want to get up, because I didn't feel like the motivation or anything like that. I was just generally really not there. And from that point I did go and try and get help for that, and what happened was I ended up being diagnosed with depression. Now, it took a while before I was diagnosed with depression, because they did say, oh, you're 18, you know, it could be mood swings and things like that. But I just explained, look, this isn't kind of the normal behaviour for an 18-year-old, because, you know, 18-year-olds are usually, you know, full of energy, going out and everything. So why am I feeling like this? Why is it me? What's causing this? And to not get those answers, first of all, is quite hard, because you kind of question your own self. Like, is it me? Am I doing this to myself? But yeah, so from 18 and a half I got diagnosed, and from then on it's been quite a bumpy journey with mental health, because from 18 I was pretty good control now. I was never put on medication or anything like that, because I didn't want medication to treat it, because I didn't feel that was the right route for me. And I didn't want that route. Even though I knew maybe it could help, I didn't want to go down that route. So I was doing okay with controlling my mental health for those 2 years. And then when I turned 20, I noticed my kind of depression was going into patterns. And it was because, and this is, I don't know if anyone else has ever heard of a condition called SAD. Yes, it does spell sad, which is seasonal affective disorder. That means your moods more or less are because of the weather. So for the last few years I've had that. So winter periods are kind of a bad period. Yeah, I spend a lot of the time in the winter I'm kind of hid away and really not doing anything. I can get quite down and not do work or anything like that, and it's really bad sometimes, because, you know, you feel like you can't get out of this one. The way I best describe depression or the seasonal affective disorder is it does feel like a dark cloud. It literally does. Even though you can acknowledge that there's nothing to be depressed about, or there's nothing to worry you, it's still there. You can still feel that dark cloud, and it's it's hard to fight. It really is hard to fight, because when you're in a situation if you want to fight that dark cloud but you don't know how, or you don't know if you can, it's so hard because it's such a losing battle. And what I found most difficult was this was my own mind and my own body that was putting this into my head, and I really struggled with that, and I still do sometimes, but in more recent times I've got a lot better and I have learned to cope with it a bit more. With seasonal affective disorder, I kind of, on rainy days I kind of shove myself to actually do stuff. Like on rainy days I shove myself to get out of bed and go to the gym, or I actually try and wake up a decent hour, or I try and limit how much sleep I get. You know, I keep myself busy with work, things like that. So seasonal affective disorder, it for me is got easily under control, but the depression is sometimes really hard. I lost someone about 2 years ago, and at that point I didn't, the person was someone very close. They were like a parent. I'll just say they were an uncle who was more or less a parent, and when they died I didn't really go through grief or anything like that, but when it came to burying their ashes, when they were buried, obviously, grief hit me then. The grief hit me, and I really struggled with that, because I'd never been through grief before, and the first week was pure grief because it was all I could think about. You know, I couldn't stop thinking about the plot where the ashes were. I couldn't stop thinking about the funeral. I couldn't stop just thinking about where they were, and it was horrible, and it is horrible with something like that. But after that week had passed and I kind of acknowledged what happened, and kind of processed it a bit, that's when the depression more kicked in. Because, and I don't think it was just that, it was just the fact that I slipped back into the habits of depression, because there are habits that you develop, and a lot of the time, there was another point in SITC that I think I completely and utterly agree with, and I will say this till the end of time, that you can appear on the outside to be happy, you can appear to be like this amazing person who's always happy, motivated and out at work and travelling and everything, but you don't know what's happening to that person on the inside. And I think if someone says to you that they're having mental health problems, don't just say to them, you know, oh, get over it or anything. That's not going to help, and that's the worst thing you could probably say to someone with mental health problems, or mental health issues, because I've had someone say it to me where someone's just said snap out of it, and to say to someone snap out of it, that's not going to help, nor can you snap out of it. So if someone does open up to you about mental health, just listen and try and work through it with them, because if they choose to open up about it to you, that must be pretty special, because I don't open up to any people hardly about mental health, and I probably should, and I am learning to try and open up. But yeah, the panel was really good about mental health, because there's a lot of help out there. There was a few things, but I'll talk about another time. So I think I am going to try and be a bit more open about my depression and SAD and things like that on my channel, because what I realised is I don't actually talk about things like that, but I think that'd be interesting to talk about, because there's so many people who experience this, and so many people who have that kind of, you know, mental health problems as well. But yeah, it was a really good panel to sit in, and it was really interesting to hear other people's experience on it as well. But yeah, another thing is, you might have noticed like the last few weeks I've not been uploading that often. That is because of that, because when I lost that person and I went into grief, the depression took over, and I couldn't really do 3 videos a week for that period. But hopefully in the next few coming weeks I should be able to hopefully get back and make videos and, you know, get back into a routine. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it insightful, and let me know your thoughts below, or your experiences with mental health in the comments down below. I'd love to read them, because I think there should be more people supporting each other with mental health, and I'd love to, you know, say to people it's fine to talk about things like that. There's no reason why you shouldn't, because it's something you need to deal with, and it's something that everyone needs to be open about without the stigma of it attached, because the stigma attached is ridiculous sometimes, because like the stigma is just unbelievable, and I think we should treat mental health with a lot more kindness and a lot more understanding, and maybe some people should put themselves in that perspective just to kind of gain a bit of understanding on it. But thank you, like I said, thank you for watching. Let me know if you've had any mental health experiences down below, or what your thoughts are on mental health. And yeah, so I'm off back to SITC, but thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.